Hi, today we are going to go over common running mistakes made by new runners. And even as an experienced runner, who knows better, sometimes we fall short in these areas too. And we can use the refresher. So whether you're a new runner or experienced runner, you do not want to miss these tips. So stay tuned. Hey, and welcome to Temple Running with MJ Smith. I am MJ Smith, and if you are returning here, hello and welcome back. And if you are new here, hey and welcome. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any content like this in the future. So today we are going to talk about the common mistakes that new runners make. And as I said in the intro, some of these, if you were giving me a report card, I am still in the C minus range on. So we as experienced runners can also use this reminder of the basics because we'll know better and still not be doing what we know we need to do to remain healthy and happy runners. So I am going to go through these tips, and most of them I have some kind of video on or another video on that you can go and get a little more in depth. But I just want to give you these nuggets that will help you to improve your run experience if you're a new runner and help you get back on track if you are an experienced runner who might be lacking in some of these areas. So my first common run mistake is one that unfortunately takes a lot of runners out the game before they can even get started well. And that is when you're doing too much too fast. You're either running too much, running too far, or running too fast, too quickly in your run plan or regimen. I know it gets inspiring watching people on YouTube and on Instagram and on social media running these great speeds and this form that's amazing, but they have taken some time to learn those things and to do those things. And if you give your body the right amount of time, it can do amazing things, but you have to give it the right amount of time. So I talk about in my video, when I talk about starting out running, making a run plan is so important. So you should definitely look up some start out run plans if you're just getting started. And it usually starts with a run walk method. And then you slowly get into more running, and then you go into running. And even starting out slow, you still may get sore, and there still may be some other things that you need to do with your stretching and warming up to make sure that you just can continue your journey injury free. If you're doing that, you are being a successful runner. If you're hurt every day that you're running, then you're not doing it right. It doesn't have to be that way. So just make sure you do what you need to do to take care of your body, stretch, get rest days in, especially starting out. These are very, very important. And just make sure that you give your body the proper warm up and cool downs so that you can be ready when it is time for you to get out there. The second most common mistake that new runners make is running in the wrong shoes. I talk about this as well in my run start video. I was one of those people, and I got my first injury pretty early in my running journey once I started doing long distances because I was given bad advice about shoes. The thing is, there is no one advice somebody can give you about run shoes because what works for me may not work for the way that you run. The only way you can get the proper run shoes for you is for you to go and get a gait analysis and determine what kind of shoe you need to buy. There are so many different types of shoes for different types of runner based on the way that your feet hit the ground when you run. It's called pronation. And basically the way that you pronate determines what kind of support you need in your shoe. When I first started out running, I was running in a very light and thin shoe because that's what I thought as a new runner that you needed to do. That is just not true. The thinnest shoe is not the answer. So I ended up needing a stability shoe, which is a shoe that I viewed as a clunky shoe, but I've been injury free and my shoes feel light on my feet. I don't feel like I have on a clunky shoe, but it gives my foot the stability it needs, that it doesn't, make my knee over compensate when my foot hits the ground. And that was what was happening for me. I was getting knee injuries because as my foot was hitting the ground, it didn't get the support it needed, and it kind of made my knee do something it didn't like. So everything's connected. You have to get the right shoe if you're going to be out there power walking or running. Make sure you get the right walk or run shoe for what you're trying to do. So number 3 is an area that I definitely get a C- in. Actually, the next couple I get a C- in. And number 3 is making sure that you cross train. Running is great, and running is a great way. It has so many benefits. It really does. But you really need to ensure that you are working out your other muscles too. They're going to do nothing but make you a stronger runner. So if you're doing a run plan where they have you doing low mileage a couple days a week, take those couple days a week of that low mileage and do just a little bit of strength training. Do some things to strengthen your legs. There are a lot of exercises you can do, squats, lunges, things like that, that will help you to make your legs stronger for running. And they also stretch you out. So cross training will help you work those muscles that you don't work when you're doing tempo runs. So definitely look up a good cross training plan for runners. They're out there. Lots of trainers have put them out there for you. Or if you're doing a Peloton app or a iFit app, they have plenty of workouts that they will tell you are good for runners specifically. So if you want to be stronger in your running, cross training is important, and it also helps you to decrease injury because it helps you work those muscles that you aren't working when you're running. And the other area where I get a C- in, but I'm doing better in 2021. Y'all, I really am doing better in 2021 with this one. And that is to ensure you get a proper warm up and cool down. And I'm actually doing better in my cross training in 2021 as well. I am, for the new year, that was things that I said I was going to do. I was going to do better on my list of basics because I know better. So I need to do better. So anyway, warming up and cooling down is very important for the same reasons that cross training is important. It helps you get your muscles stretched and get them ready to get out there. It warms them up for your warm up. I guess it warms them up. No crap, Sherlock. But so you want to get your muscles warmed up, especially when you're doing winter running. I mentioned in my 7 tips for running in cold weather, if you can warm up your muscles by doing some dynamic stretching before you leave the house, then it will actually help you warm up faster once you get out there. Because otherwise, your first quarter mile is probably you're gonna feel really cold. But you can make that time a lot shorter if you do your warm up inside. But even if it's warm weather outside or decent weather outside, you still should do a warm up. Every time I remember to do a warm up and then I go out, I do feel so much more ready to go, I have to say. And so I hope I can remember to do it more, the warm up. The cool down, you definitely need to come in, do some stretching, do some cooling down. Even if you're just taking a walk, sometimes I come back from my run and I just walk my cul-de-sac circle in front of my house a few times just to give my muscles time to come down from the extreme stimulation I just gave them. I'm gonna say it's extreme because I like to think that I put them to work. So definitely warming up and cooling down is important. And there are a lot of warm up and cool down routines out there by trainers as well. And like I said, if you do an app like Peloton and iFit, they have 5-minute and 10-minute cool down and warm up routines that you can do before and after your run. The next common mistake that runners make is wearing the wrong gear when running. Now, there is no right or wrong gear, but there is better gear than other gear, and the better gear will make your run more comfortable. You can go out there in a cotton t-shirt and some, and a pair of basketball shorts if that's what you want to run in and if that's what you have. You can do it, but it would be better for you, especially if you're running in extreme heat or cold, to have the proper gear on in order to be comfortable in your running. So you want to make sure you have a technical base layer in the cold weather, and you also want to have a technical layer if you're running outside in the heat. Either one, it absorbs that sweat and keeps it off of you so that in the summer you don't have your clothes sticking to you as bad. And in the winter, you don't have that sweat sitting in your clothes, which will chill your body faster. So a good base technical layer is important. Good socks, ones that are not cotton, but that are made of a breathable material so that you do not sweat in them and just get blisters on your feet. That was one of the things I didn't know about when I was starting out. So get you some good socks. And as an ambassador for Balega, I must say they are amazing socks. They are pretty much the only sock I have run in my entire run journey for 12 years. I still have my first pair of Balega socks. That's how well they last. So don't let the price of them shock you. You will have them for a long time. They last forever. So not forever literally, but they would last a really long time. So yes, the right socks, the right technical gear, making sure you have dry fit material gear. You don't have to buy anything expensive. They have stuff at Marshall's and TJ Maxx and places like that work out just fine. And when you're running in the heat, you want to make sure your clothes are loose fitting and light colored. And when you're running in the winter, you want to make sure you dress for the weather being 10 degrees warmer than it actually is outside. And if you run warm on the inside anyway, then you want to do 15 to 20 degrees warmer in the way you dress. Because when you get out there, you're going to heat up. So those are just the quick tips I can give you on dressing properly for running so that you're comfortable when you get out there. And the next common mistake that runners make is their form. Now, there is a proper way to run. And from that proper way to run, we all usually get our different forms and what works for us from that. But the basics of the proper way to run are the same. Some people like to do the shuffle. The shuffle is not proper. It's going to wear your shoes down, and you could be putting pressure on different parts of your knees and your legs that you don't want to. So there are different ways for you to ensure that the shuffle does not become your thing, because even though you're starting off slow, you don't have to shuffle. Some ways to get through this is to do like high knees exercises, which can also help you for your warm up, your dynamic stretching. So if you want to get your body ready to pick those feet up off the ground, maybe do some high knees or something like that before you go out so that you'll be used to picking up your feet. You also want to make sure that you don't look at the ground, because some people tend to do that when they get tired. They hunch over and they look at the ground. I like to look at the ground sometimes too, but if you're going to do that, you can move your neck, but don't move your whole body down. And that's if you're looking at the ground. If you're trail running and you need to kind of see where you're going, move your neck, not the whole top of your body. Also, just make sure your shoulders are back, arms are bent, hands are loose. This is something that I have a problem with. I like to ball my fist up for some reason when I run. That is making your body use energy on something that you don't want. This takes energy, balling up your fist. So you don't want to use your energy on that. You want to use your energy in your run. So keep your hands loose, keep your arms bent, and your arms should just be going back and forth. So if your arms they shouldn't be crossing your body. They should be going back and forth on each side of your body. So that's the quick run form video. That's the quick run form advice, but there are so many videos that tell you how your body should be aligned with your hips and everything. I guess I probably need to put that on the list to do one in the future, but if you can keep those basics right, I think a lot of things fall in place. Those shoulders back, head up, unless you're looking at the ground, but we don't hunch our whole body, and then arms flowing, hands loose. So hopefully that'll help you out a little bit with your form to get you started. But you can dig further into that by researching the proper run form. There's lots of information out there about that. And the last one, I just threw on the list because I think that, especially with that number one common mistake that I told you, running too fast too soon, where I talk about you seeing these people getting down on social media and you think you're just supposed to go out there and be, FloJo on the first run. That's not how it goes. And so comparing yourself to others is the last common mistake I'm going to talk about today, because that will set you back it will set you back every time. You have to run your own race. That's a common thing we say in the run community. Run your own race. So what, this person started at the same time as you and they're doing much better than you feel like you're doing. Your journey and your pace is what you need to do for you. That person could have had they just have a different body type. They could have had some different training. They could have put some more time in. You don't know what's going on. Do not compare yourself to others. Comparison is the thief of joy. I've seen it so much and it is so true. So just enjoy your journey. Use those people for motivation. That's what I do. When I see somebody out there getting it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to get it too. I may feel like I'm running like them, but I'm not. I'm not putting up their stats and their numbers, but I use it to motivate me to get me further in my journey versus using that as motivation to try to pass them and making it a negative thing on my own journey. So if you can't bring that in to be a positive motivator for you versus one that's making you feel bad about your journey, then you're doing it wrong. That is not the way it should go. Your run journey is yours, your pace. Do not try to go faster and be better just because of somebody else's journey, because you're going to find yourself injured and on the couch. And we do not want that. We want everybody to remain happy and healthy runners. And so that is all I have for you all today. I hope that this report card for the experienced runners helped us check off some areas that we can do better in. And for those who are new to running, I hope that this video helps you to be more comfortable in your running, to continue to advance your journey, and just to be a happy, healthy runner, because that's what we want. If you have not already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you like this video and want to see more like it, give it a thumbs up and hit that bell so you'll be notified when I post a new video. I post a new video every week, so hit that bell so you don't miss it. And if you aren't already following me on social media, please go over to Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram and look me up. That is where I post my run journey, and I kind of post on a regular basis, pretty much daily, and I like to follow some of your run journeys as well. So please go ahead and check me out on any of those platforms. And as I said, that's all I got for you guys today. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate every moment, every minute, every second that you spend with me on this channel. Thank you so much. And until next time, are you in